Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Indies for June 20th, 2021. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. It is Father's Day, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And we are here to do the Indie Connection and the roundtable discussion. We've got a great show for you ahead, so I hope that you really strap in and enjoy. Right now, though, I'm going to give you a little taste of what's to come. As we've been doing for the last few weeks, we have our special Sunday double feature here at Go Indie Now. So we're going to do the show, which is live right now, and then the live premiere of the world premiere of this, our next Origins episode with the awesome indie musician Merlin. She is incredible, and this is just a small little snippet of not only our conversation, but you get a little taste of her music in this as well. So as voted by our fans, they decided that this was the clip they wanted to see, so this is the clip I'm going to show you. So here you go, and we'll be back with the roundtable right after that. Well, I mean, you do most of this on your own. I mean, you have been a one-woman show for a very long time, and looking back at all the hustle you've put into this, what do you think you're most proud of?
Everything has had its own moment where I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Like, I can't believe I accomplished that. But honestly, I think I'm just proud of where I am at this moment, and not. Because there are so many moments in life that I almost gave up on. Like, I remember there was actually 2 whole years when I didn't sing at all. Not in the shower, nothing. I was just very, very like upset with my life and everything. And I didn't realize it. You know, I was just trudging through. And it's funny because it's not funny. It's interesting. When I look back, I'm like, that was the saddest 2 years of my life, really.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, now that I'm at this point, like I said before, it may get hard. It may be long nights. It may be frustration about getting certain things done with myself. But I remember what that feeling is like. You know, I'll never forget that feeling of almost giving up on my dream. And that's the thing that's always going to push me. And especially now, having accomplished, like having put out music and having other stuff in the works for the future, I'm like, I'm not stopping this train. I'm letting it ride all the way. So whatever happens, happens. And at the end of the day, the way I see it is, even if nothing happens, there's no regret, because I already had that feeling of regret, and I can't imagine having that feeling later down the line. You know, like, this is kind of like, for me, it's do or die time. And not to make it so melodramatic, but yeah. It's like,
that totally makes sense. Do you look at all about the idea of being a woman doing this on your own in this industry? You know, that's kind of, it's still, I mean, there's a lot more out there now, and the gaps are shrinking and shrinking more, but there's still a very large gap going on. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are on looking at it from that perspective. Do you look at it from that perspective, or do you feel like, you know what, I'm an artist, I'm going to perform, and I'm just going to do the best I can and be the artist that I can be?
I definitely have seen it from that perspective, and I definitely have moments where that may come up. But then I just remind myself that at the end of the day, like you just said, I'm an artist. I'm just going to do my best, and if, you know, everything goes the way that I hope it would go, I would love to use my story as, you know, maybe that'll inspire someone, even if it's one person. Nice. You know, to go on further, to not give up on their dream, and that would be amazing, because at the end of the day, you know, we do things for ourselves, but once we get to a certain point, we're doing it for other people. And I don't mean that in the sense of like we do things for other people. I mean in the sense of like we are just bigger than ourselves, you know, the things that we do.
It's following your idol Tina Turner in a lot of respects, because Tina Turner got stuck in a bad situation. She pulled herself out of it and became 3 times bigger a megastar than she would have been with Ike by her side. She just did it all on her own, and she was determined, right? And there's something to be said for that, you know, following your passion and being determined.
Definitely. And actually, and I don't know if you know this about that song, What's Love Got to Do with It? She almost didn't take that song. Like she almost didn't want, and I was like, what? Like, dang. But it's like, I completely agree with what you said. And I think that at the end of the day, like she didn't know that all this was going to happen. Like she was just following her. So, I mean, it's a fact. I'm a woman. I've gone through a lot of things, and I'm sure I'll continue to go through things, but I'm just never gonna let that stop me, because it's like I've been almost towards the edge of that point, and it's just I'm not letting anything stop me, no matter what it is, no matter who it is.
The women inside me are tired. The worries, the hustle, the fighting. Wanna come me up just to try it. But you know it ain't right when you lie and I turn blue. This time I see you. I was blinded by my youth. This time I won't play the fool, no. Bad girls, we got feelings too. Good girls wanna be bad too. Sad girls crying over you. Bad girls feel so used. Bad girls, we got feelings too. In a flat line. If you're gonna break my heart, then it's no. Should've known you were bad news from the start, but it's no. Now you say you wanna make it up to me, but your fake love ain't good enough for me. So if you're gonna break my heart, then it's no. So don't hold your breath, no. You must be fired up, 'cause every time I've had enough tension. Begging for your affection, crucify me when I'm wrong. Don't need you lying with your image, devilish intentions. I don't like you, not at all. Don't need you. I won't play your foolish games. No, I won't give you anything you haven't earned. You must be fired up, 'cause I won't be tired. Repeat and rewind. There's something you need to know. It's the little things that kill your soul. Amuse me, come my way, confuse me. Don't behave, but don't abuse me. There's something you need to know. It's the little things that kill your soul. It's my party, let me play. I'm insane.
So if you go check that out, that'll be live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is the top of the hour after this show. And we will have that world premiere for you of that entire episode and conversation. And that being said, let's have our own little conversation, shall we? We've got our roundtable discussion here, and I have a wonderful group of humans to join me today.
Humans.
Hello. Really excited to have each and every one of you join us and talk a little bit about ourselves a little bit today. I want us to boast a bit and talk a little bit about our branding and who we are. And because we've been, over the last few weeks, we've been kind of exploring the idea of, how we help others, how others help us, how they don't help us. They, all those incredible things that happen in our community, and we haven't really gone introspectively. And I think I've got the great group to do that with this week. So I'm real excited to talk about that a little bit. Let's go down the line though and have everybody introduce themselves real quickly before we get to going deep into our souls.
Oh, God. Oh, me first. Oh, no.
Go for it first, Nikki.
Oh, God. Hi, I'm Nikki Nelson Hicks. I write a whole slew of different genres, from steampunk and some mystery to horror. You can find my stuff at my website. They're listed below, or on Amazon. I'm kind of scared now about delving deeper, but we'll see how this goes. Okay. Oh, don't.
With everything I say, it's a great assault. All right, so don't worry about it. Conversations are natural. Let's just say that we'll go wherever we need to go.
Yeah.
I just want to prepare everybody just in case we get a little too deep. But Mr. Oliva, you want to tell everybody a little about yourself?
Let's do it. How is everyone? So my name is P.D. Oliva, and I write everything from dystopian sci-fi about alien vampires to psychological horror to satirical cosmic grindhouse horror and then supernatural thrillers as well. So definitely multi-genre, but I lump it in and I call it alternative fiction. So that's a branding thing for you right there. We can discuss.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm here in sunny South Florida and enjoying the day.
Nice.
Glad to be here.
Nice to have you. Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Gaffin, you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Adam Gaffin. I'm the author of the Cassidy Chronicles, which is also available on the website, CassidyChronicles.com. It's a science fiction series, and that is my primary genre, although I've dabbled in a couple others here and there. This is where I like to play.
Nice. Well, welcome, sir. It's nice to have you. All right. And last but certainly never least, the amazing CL Cannon.
You muted? Still muted.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, technical difficulties, and now there's like a huge truck. But my name is Courtney, and but I go by CL Cannon. I am an author of YA fantasy and sci-fi. I own Fiction Atlas Press, and you'll see me a lot on Joe's shows doing the Indie Connection and the monthly marketing tip. And I'm excited to get into this conversation today.
Right. Well, let me unmute myself so that we can have this conversation. Welcome everybody. So I think the interesting thing that I'm kind of curious to start with is the idea that the branding aspect of who we are and what we do. How much of us do we put into that aspect of it, right? And I mean, for writers, the idea that you're sharing a little bit of yourself. I was actually talking to Nikki about this off the air a little bit, and the idea that we're putting ourselves and comparing, putting a little bit of our quirks or who we are in our characters, and then in the stories that we tell. Does that reflect? Do you reflect that back in your branding? Is it kind of just a clinical thing for you when you're out there promoting? How much of yourself do you let out when you're branding?
Who wants to go first? I'll go first. Okay. So yeah, I actually am pretty much my brand. I try to put a lot of just my personality and I like the weird stuff. I've never ever hid my weird freak flag. I don't know why people talk about how they had to hide their freak flag when they were kids. I never did. I love the weird, I love the strange, I love the unusual. And I bring that into my stories. And we were talking earlier about, I was listening to something about, what you bring into your story. And I was thinking, how much did I bring into my Jake Ishchenheji stories? And I really wasn't thinking about it until Joe said something. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. My entire life, I have just fallen into things and I just work my way out, which is what I do to Jake. I'm constantly just throwing him into shit shows and watching him scramble out. And for me, that's fun. And so again, I guess bringing myself into my Jake stories. And as for branding, yeah, I just like weird stuff. So I have no problem bringing that into it. So yeah. Did that answer anything or did I just ramble? I don't know.
You did good.
I am so
You're on brand
right now. I'm on brand. You have no idea.
We have a good idea of who you are at this moment.
I'm so sorry.
I feel a lot like Nikki. I got some. I'm nerdy. I'm geeky, and I pretty much show it on my social media and in my branding. And I'm a really introverted person in real life, and being extroverted online is the only way I can get that energy out, I guess, because I feel a lot more comfortable when I can go out there and post a witty GIF or, do some random thing where I can relate to fans and stuff by, talking about what books I'm reading or characters that I love or, alternate universes I wish would happen in the multiverse that's coming up or, anything that like that. I feel a lot more comfortable doing that online and doing that as my brand. And like Nikki, I just let my freak flag fly and it's fun. I like for people to get to know me in that way because I feel like they connect with me, they will connect with my books and my quirky little characters.
Nice.
Do you worry that people might be disappointed when they meet you? Because that's my thing. I'm always disappointed people are going to meet me, and though you're not half as funny or interesting in the real world as you are behind the keyboard, because I've had that experience. People will meet me in the real world, and I'm just having a bad day, or nothing fun's happening, or I'm just not really funny, and they'll be like, "Well, dang, that's a little disappointing." Do you ever worry about that? Do you worry about that? Because I worry about that.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, when you put on the face, when you do a show, you put on the face. It's exhausting to put on the face. And I really worry that sometimes I put on the face, and one time someone's going to meet me without the face, and they're going to go, "Oh my god." So yeah, I worry about that. I can't be the only person who worries.
I don't think you could ever not be fun. Every time I've seen you, Nikki, you were like really fun.
Oh, you should meet my I have never made my husband laugh. Actually, I made him laugh once. We've been together since I was 15, he was 17. He just doesn't laugh. He claims, "Oh, I'm laughing in here. I'm in here."
On the inside.
Really? Freaking Virgos. You cannot make them laugh.
I'm a Virgo and I laugh all the time.
Then my husband's, it's the Marine Corps then. I don't know. But I cannot make him laugh.
How about for you guys, Adam? Petey, what do you think?
Excuse me. I would say, see, I'm newer to this than Nikki or Courtney, and so I'm still figuring my way through. Right now, my branding is more the books than me, figuring that people are going to look at the books and fall in love with the characters. The characters aren't really me. I mean, yes, there are things that I intentionally put in there, which reflect certain aspects of me, but they're their own people. And so my branding is all focused on them and their universe.
Said the guy with a dragon with dragons on his shirt.
I figured it was the right shirt. Yeah.
I like it.
And I wanted to thank Nikki for making this an official video conference for having the cat in the background.
Oh.
Grebo stole my chair. This is my husband's chair. I had to, because you don't move a cat. So Grebo stole my chair and I'm stuck. So yeah.
One of my cats is currently sleeping behind the monitor. I fully expect him to come out at some point and walk across.
Nice.
So.
They usually do.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's always the staple of a good show when that happens. I think that's good luck. So.
Gotta have it.
Yeah.
Gotta have a cat.
Yep.
So your turn, Petey.
It's my turn, right?
Your turn.
All right.
Tell us what you're branding.
Well, let's see. All right. So there's two sides of me, right? Either I'm a complete goofball or I'm a complete serious in my head type of person. So I'm also a psychologist and a hypnotist. And most people, when I say that, think I'm some sort of like uptight person. No. And that's completely far from the truth as well. So as far as branding, I mean, it's alternative fiction, right? So I'm trying to get that out, but I'm trying to get the stories in the books to actually sell themselves. I'd rather them be famous than me be famous. But people, especially in today's social media age, they want to hear from us. Who are you? And most of the time, I mean, look around my room here. This is my office. It's blank walls. I like blank walls. So as far as putting myself out there, yeah, you're going to see a lot of goofy stuff. And when you read my novels, you're going to get a lot of psychological stuff as well. because I write across points of view. So you'll get into the heads of an alien vampire, just like you will a demon from friggin' outer space. Oh, I love putting the psychological aspect in all of my stories. How does that feed into me? Well, like I said, I'm a hypnotist. I'm a psychologist. So I love that aspect. And I love teaching about the mind and how the mind works, how emotions work. And I get into metaphysics as well. And I do that in my private practice and in my novels. So kind of bring that into everything that I'm doing into social media as well.
Have you guys ever seen those things on Facebook, whatever they do, like show us your writer's desk, show us your writer's office?
Yeah.
Because my writer's desk looks like a haunted curio shop. I mean, I find little weird things and I have them. Like recently, the most coolest thing I got recently was this really cool little fairy in a jar.
I never like that.
Yeah, it's made by a guy in Mexico. I found it on Etsy. And I just thought it was really, really cool. And he can make it to whatever color you want. Anyway, so that's my desk. And I've often wondered to other people's writers' desks, and they're so like, I don't know, sterile. It's like they got a little writing spot. And I'm like, this is also, I have to have things in front of me because of my ADD. I have to. If I don't have it in front of me, it doesn't exist. I have to have it. Maybe that's why I have little things all around me. Maybe that's what it is.
Understood. The only person I have on my desk is this guy here. It's my favorite.
Oh, see?
Empire Strikes Back puppet. Get him in there.
I even have a finger puppet to play with.
Yeah, I love my puppet.
I got all kinds of just little things, Cthulhu stuff, skulls.
Nobody will ever see my desk. I have a friend who's a psychic, and he can like project himself into places and see like that. And
Neat.
And so I was testing him one day, and he goes, and I go, so what do you think of my desk? And he goes, well, if I could see underneath all the crap that you've got piled on top of it, I would say it's a big white desk. I go, holy shit, yes, it's a big white desk, but there is a ton of crap piled all over it. So yes, but the JD Estrada wants you to hypnotize him to get some bigger waves, PD, and he's
How do you use the Yoda in private practice?
Sure, he says. Etsy's a rabbit hole for obscure one-of-a-kind
Oh,
things.
it's wonderful.
Yes.
You can find the weirdest, creepiest things. That too, me too.
I have a
And-
bunch of envelopes on my desk too.
Yeah, me too. And Post-it notes all over the place.
Well, a lot of it. I'll show you guys. I'll open the wall here a little bit. Often, a lot of it is me doing scripts for my shows, like me writing down stuff so I can things. And then this was the show I just did with Nikki. Nikki was on that show. This is my notes for that. So I mean, I have probably about 1 million of these cards sitting on my desk right now. So
Yeah. Well,
I love little note cards. That's my favorite.
I always scribble. I'm always taking notes when I'm doing anything because I hear someone say something really cool and I'll write something down so I remember it. And I won't remember it. So yeah.
Gee, I feel like I'm letting the Writers Guild down because I use a roll top desk. So on top of the desk I have a bunch of
neat
models, and then but on the desk there really isn't much. I have a copy of each of my books, which I use for reference. Yes,
I have cats. People.
Yes, and I have dogs in the background. Yeah, her desk looks a lot like mine from the other side. I have books. I have my books so that if I need to refer back to something, do a little research back into what I'm writing. And then I have my list of red shirt names. And that's really about it for writing stuff that I have here. I mean, there's the usual accumulation of detritus, but that's about it.
Oh, yeah. And I have like 40 masks on my desk too, by the way. But,
Oh yeah, I have hats.
But yeah,
so often I just put
JD says junk mail is back in full force here. So yeah, there's I usually throw away my junk mail. I don't. That's the one thing I'm not a collector. My ex-wife was a big collector, and going through our house was just a nightmare because she collects so much stuff. But I don't collect anything. I'm not that person.
When I die, my children are going to have a hell of a time. I mean, I've got all this junk. And this is just, I can only imagine what happened another 50 years from now. It's going to be so much crap. But every so often I'll go through a real depressive stage and I'll just get rid of everything. I just throw everything away or I burn it. I used to burn things a lot. I don't burn things anymore. So I used to just do all that. But I haven't done that in a while. I did when I was a child. I had a huge comic book collection and I went through a depressive stage. So I just took all my comic books out in the backyard and burned them all.
No.
Do you realize how much money I burned?
Yeah. You just
Wow.
went up and eat.
What the hell, Past Nick? What the hell? So, yeah.
My to regale a tale about my father on Father's Day. My father actually, his mother was not very nice to him, very abusive. And one day when he went out to play, when he was like 12, 13 years old, he had an extensive baseball card collection and comic book collection. She threw them all out.
That bitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why do people do that? I don't touch no, this is my stuff I touch, but no one else's. No.
Yeah.
But my husband has so much stuff. I don't touch it. No. No.
My father once had. My father once
that's
had.
kind of why I don't collect anything.
Maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, Petey. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's right. That's right. My father once had boxes, right, in our basement of old Pulp Fiction magazines. Boxes of them. And we moved from New York to Florida in like 1992, and he got rid of all of them.
Did you at least sell them?
All of them. He sold them cheap at some we had a garage sale or whatever, and he sold them for like
Oh no,
$10.
those things are worth
Oh.
money.
Trust me. I wish I had them.
Oh.
I used to read them too. I love them. I wish
Yeah.
I told them keep those magazines. I didn't know at that time. It would be
Yeah,
too awesome to have them.
It's funny how hindsight peers its way into our lives like that, right? I mean, it's like,
Mhm.
and then you try to tell, like my younger brother tried to tell my younger brother to keep his stuff, because he liked to collect stuff, and I like keep all that, keep it pristine, keep it in the sleeve because he liked comic books, so keep them in the sleeve and
Yep.
in the plastic and everything, and trust me, it'll pay off in the end. And the only thing he kept was a bunch of cassettes. So those are worth nothing. But
Yeah, it's worth nothing.
He didn't quite get the message.
yeah, he just it didn't register with him. I mean, you don't think about those things when you're younger, and
No,
and
you don't.
you're just regaling the enjoyment of it. You don't think about how much it means, down the line. Because, like, I mean, if I had kept all the Star Wars figures I got when I was a kid, and
Oh,
like,
the ones we used to play with out in the yard in the dirt.
yeah.
Now
Mhm.
you know
Yeah,
you
those.
don't. Oh, mint in box. So
Yeah, I had the big Millennium Falcon display
oh,
thing that I
yes.
built, and I had all the like Empire Strikes Back stuff. I had the little I'm dating myself really badly here, but I had the cryo freeze set.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
micro miniatures, like the metal micro miniatures. It had a micro miniature Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, and then it had a little frozen Han Solo.
Han Solo.
And the cryo freeze thing, and I love that thing. I play with that thing to death. I destroyed it though. But ultimately, that's kind of the thing that you'll never see again. It's kind of crazy,
I know. Oh well.
And it's funny too, because like we incorporate a lot of those memories into how we write and our branding as well, because Courtney does a lot of like giveaways and things like that, and you also do a lot of unboxings where you do the memory stuff, right? And so
Yeah.
it's kind of it's kind of like those things where you're kind of capturing some moments that you remember and regaled in as a child, right? I mean, those are the kind of ideas that you have. I mean, obviously you say you're always been a nerd, and you're proud to fly that flag.
Yeah.
So, but is that part of it too? Is kind of recapturing some of that lost youth for you?
Some of that nostalgia, yeah. Especially like old TV shows I used to watch, old books I used to read. I've got gargoyle stuff. I've got Buffy stuff. All kinds of different things that I collect. I'm very much a collector. My whole living room is a big collection. I've got like 4 bookshelves full of books, and I've got a whole Funko Pop collection that's like 30 or 40 Funko Pops on top of my bookshelves, and plus a few more in there. I'm really bad about collecting stuff and keeping stuff, and you don't want to see my desk because it's just it's just a mess. I'm very organized online with my spreadsheets and things like that, but in the physical realm, I'm not at all.
I'm almost curious to see your dashboard because I gotta imagine you have notes and stuff on there too, right? When you're doing these videos.
No, I don't. I don't usually. I just usually take a notebook with me, and right now my notebook is a Hey Arnold notebook. If that tells you anything about nostalgia.
I love that show. Oh yeah, Hey Arnold's great.
Anita says she still has 2 original Star Wars figures not mint in the box though. Eh?
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Yeah. One of the what you were saying, Joe, one of the fun things that I do with one of my characters is she's she looks back on the period that we're in now, and she's obsessed with the pop culture of this period. So I use her to bring references to like Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek and Buck Rogers and Buffy into the books, partly as a tribute to the things that have influenced me.
That's pretty
So
cool.
that's, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a sideways sort of collection.
Yeah. I make little references to where I grew up because my story takes place in the time I grew up in the city I grew up in, and so I make little like local restaurant references and stuff like that, little things, little nods that only certain people who know me and know around me would get, and I did that on purpose for just that reason, is to because I know how hard it is to get friends and family to support you and do all those things. And so I figured if I included them in the experience, they would, which it didn't work, but that's all right.
It's weird. I've never written about my hometown. It's weird.
Yeah.
I think it's because I moved around as a kid so much. We just moved. So I never really felt rooted anywhere. Everywhere I write about is either something a town I've made up or someplace really far away. It's odd. I wonder why I do that. I guess it must be because I don't feel rooted anywhere.
And I won't play the psychologist since we have a psychologist here, but I will say with the Jake Hedgie stories, you move him around a lot too. So there's another.
Again, I did not realize how much I am Jake. I had no idea. And I like to torture Jake, so I'm torturing myself because Jake again had no roots. He was pushed around all over the place, and God damn it, oh man.
I'm blowing Nikki's mind.
You are. I never thought about it till now. Now I'm looking back and going, huh? What do you know? Jeez. So
JD has a question for the group here. He says his desk is all over the place, but how about everybody's desktop on their computer? Do you have odes to things that you have on your computer?
Oh, you mean like the picture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or maybe like you have like YouTube links or something on your desktop or something that
Actually, my desktop's pretty clean. It just it's links to stories that I'm working on or just different. It's very, very clean.
Yeah, mine too, because I have to keep it clean because I have so much video filing on there.
Right.
I mean, I have several different I can't see it, but this is one of my external hard drives. I have like 3 of them plugged in right now.
Yeah.
Because I have video files are so heavy in data, and so it's like and space, so I have to put them on drives like that. But I keep my desktop because also it helps run this computer and run my system. So I do that as well. So, but
no.
My desktop is a mess.
I don't have stuff on the desktop. It's just, I've been using computers for so long. I was fortunate enough to be in school when computers were starting to be used in school. And so I learned and got used to the whole idea, folders and files and subfolders and subfolders. And so the desktop itself is not bad. It's just once you dive into the rabbit hole of a certain folder, you may never come out.
Yeah,
that's true. I've got folders like crazy, folders upon folders upon folders.
And that's what JD was asking about. He was asking about.
Oh, okay. So basically, clean. Oh no. I've got. Geez, I would hate to have to go clean that up. I've got folders who go to folders, and it's just because I am a kind of crazy about saving things. I'm terrified of losing. You've all lost something. I'm sure you've all been working on something and lost it and know that feeling. It's like a death. And so you're desperate now never to go through that hell again. Yeah. So I'm constantly updating or saving it to different folders, online, emailing it to myself. having a physical copy.
I've also learned to be very careful about that because, as JD says, some folders can look like an Inception sometimes.
Yes. Now,
So
I
you
have,
don't know where you put stuff, and you're like,
trust me, all the time.
So I've
all the
learned to
time.
be very careful about that. I've been very direct when I put stuff together. Whenever I create a folder, I'm very much creating that folder for that purpose and that purpose only. But then of course I end up.
Then it goes down.
5,000 folders, but that's how crazy I am.
No,
My
I
Guys are
understand.
also
Me too.
organized.
My desktop is a complete mess.
See, right there. Oh my gosh.
Your desktop's a complete mess.
Yeah, it's a complete mess. So I keep things all the time, and if I need something and it's really important, I'll always email it to myself. And then I forget that I emailed it to myself, so I search on my desktop for like an hour trying to find the exact same document instead of just searching on my email. And I actually did this exact thing this morning. I was looking for a new book that I'm coming out with. I had written the description. I can't find it. I have no idea where it is. So I searched. It took me over an hour, but I finally did find it. Thank God.
I hate that.
I do that too. I email myself links, especially when I'm looking for topics for this show. I'll email the link to the thing so I have it and everything like that. But Google Drive has become my best friend because I can keep things so easily in that, and it's just so amazing to me. So I mean, Dropbox sucks because they only give you just a little bit of taste of stuff. But Google Drive, I got the 2 terabyte thing for $10, and I'm like, yes, I'm in. So
That's what I had to do that too. I had to upgrade. It kept telling me my storage was low, and I was like, I know. So I was like, I'm gonna go through it. I went through it for like a day, and it only went down by like 2%. And I'm like, I'm just gonna pay for it at this point rather than go through all that crap. My desktop is horrible. It is full of Sony Vegas files from the Indie Connection and the marketing tips, and then all the temporary files that those create and put all over my desktop because I have to make 4 different files for when I do the Indie Connection of the different books. That's 4 different files. Then I've got a file for when I do the intro and outro, and then I've got a file for when I do the description. So all that stuff ends up on my desktop, and eventually I just end up shoving it all into a folder that says Go Indie Now.
Yes. I have several of those.
Sensible.
Yes.
Yes. It's I mean, it's just it's just par for the course when you're doing stuff like this, right? I mean, I mean, how do you guys keep your research? Are you guys folder people with research? Do you just use it and throw it away? Do you link to it? What is your process for research in terms of when you're putting together a story or putting even, maybe even like looking at pictures that you might save for branding later, for marketing? I mean, are those all things that you save?
I'm all of those things. I have folders on my computer. I have paper folders that I have next to me. I have pictures because again, I have to see the things. When I was writing Rumble, I actually had models of monsters on my desk on both sides of me so I could look at the models and had them always on my desk. When I was writing, Boo Daddies, I wrote Boo Daddies for Jake. I had a huge pirate ship that was, it was huge, sitting next to my desk, because I needed it to get into the mood. But also for files and stuff, and like just for fodder, I have fodder files. If I see something I think that's a really cool picture or a cool idea, I will download it, print it, put it, email it, all the things. I am drowning in fodder. But
I'm curious how detailed was the pirate ship? Were you able to use like little like nuances from it, like the way that the wood maybe grained on certain aspects of it, or did you reference it for like?
Actually, the ship that I used was a ship that my husband received when we were living in Oman. He received it as a gift from the Omanis. And so I had this big, huge ship, and I used it as my model kind of thingy for a pirate ship. I don't remember getting too in depth. I remember doing more smells and feelings because the ship was abandoned in the middle of the swamp, in the middle of nowhere. And it was more of that. I mean, again, it was a novella, so I couldn't go too deep into it. But I got more of the smells. To me, I'm a smell person. I'm kind of like part wolf. So I'm all about the smells. And if you give me a smell, I can tell you everything about the thing. So
Interesting.
See,
branding.
Smells.
And
she's a smell chick.
Hello. How are you? It's too funny. What I do when I'm doing when I'm writing a novel, what I'm having is I always have a Word doc, like separate Word doc, and that's where I drop in all my research, links, pictures, everything like that. So it's always there in conjunction with whatever I'm writing. So you can just click on that Word doc, read what I need to do, and put it in the novel.
That's awesome.
I like that. That's a good idea. It's concise and right there.
Right
I'm
there.
stealing
And
that.
I'll even send myself emails. Like if I'm out and about and if something pops into my head or a plot point or something, boom, I'll send myself a quick email. And then when I get home, I get that email and I drop it right into that Word doc.
See, I'm terrible. So this is the thing I do when I'm doing my writing is I'll star something or I'll bracket something and go, okay, this needs research later. And I actually did that for my last book. And they almost printed it with the bracket because I did it after the edit.
Oh no!
And so like because I didn't go back and research it because I totally forgot about it, and so it's like that I need to do stuff like what you were saying, PD, because that would have been horrible.
What's this bracket in the book for? Right.
See, I do something similar to PD in that I have a file, Word file, which is all of the characters and all the technical stuff because I write hard sci-fi. And so I've gotten it all written out, and that's one file. And I usually have that open off on the other monitor as I'm writing so I can refer back to it. But if it's something like scene specific, Google is my friend. I'll research it. I'll look it up. I'll get it right. I'll put it in, I'll write it in, and then I'll move on. I don't save that. I don't print it out because once I've found it, okay, it's out there. I can find it again if I have to.
Understood.
I do a lot of that. Like if I'm really bad about when I'm writing, I'm editing at the same time, which I know you're not supposed to do, but I can't turn off my editor brain. So I'm always I've got my stuff doing that. And I've got like bookmarks on Google Chrome if there's something that I definitely need to go back to. And then for visual stuff, sometimes I do what Nikki does where I save stuff. I've got a lot of pictures and memes and all kinds of GIFs saved on my computer. But I also do Pinterest boards that help me a lot with that.
That's a great tip too, Pinterest boards. I don't like that site, but
they're more for me than from people actually following me. I don't even know if I've got many people over there. I don't really try to build it. It's just for me to look at and go, ooh, this is pretty. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Now, do you search other people's Pinterest boards for ideas?
Sometimes, mostly I will just type in a keyword. Like if I'm looking for like pirate or bad guy or hot bad guy, hot guy with black hair or guy that looks like Sam Riley or, something like that. Or like dark mermaid or whatever I'm looking for at the time.
Yeah.
So it's more topic.
Nice.
They don't always have hot in the name when I search it.
Oh, sure it does.
JD says, welcome back, Fodder. And Anita says, my research is terrible. Mix of folders, Google Keep, and a messy mix of bookmark sites and reference. But yeah, my bookmarks are out of control. I need to fix that.
Me too.
I use the model ship for my research book too. And she also says Pinterest is great for visuals.
It's great for visuals.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting methods in creating what we create, and too. The interesting thing is, I've got a bunch of folks here. For the most part, you all have dabbled in other genres too, and I'm just curious for your branding aspect of things. Are you is the being the personal aspect help tie those all together for you, or do you feel like you have to be this for this genre and this for this genre? Is there certain things you do differently for each genre, or you guys, you know what, I'm me, this is I'm spitting it all out and here you go, world, take it all in?
I pretty much spit it all out. I'm just me.
Yeah,
I don't try to be like I don't put on a pink flowery dress to write romance because I don't write romance. But if I were to write romance, I wouldn't suddenly become this. I am what I am because I am what I am.
All right.
Yeah, same boat. And I don't have much out there in terms of volume for other genres. Like I said, it's Cassidy or pretty much nothing. But the other stuff that's out there, Absolutely. It's just, other fiction that I wrote, a couple Sherlock Holmes stories, a couple little short horror stories. People can find it.
I think that's more and more commonplace. I think early on in my writing career, when before there was such a thing as the internet, yes, I am that old.
Oh,
And
me too. So
there is such a thing as Amazon and ebooks and things of that nature. Well, actually, yeah, there was. But it was in its infancy when I started writing, and things like that. The idea was that if you were writing crime, you had to brand yourself with the crime, and then if you were going to switch to fantasy, you had to brand yourself with fantasy. That was a real big thing back then because the idea was you didn't want to lose all your fan base or turn them off one direction or the other, because they're your fan base, they're after you, they're following you, so you don't want to confuse people in that direction. That was the whole idea. But that is so many. I mean, I think all of us. It's just like I think the Panther plotter argument is kind of gone by the wayside a little bit, because we're all kind of a hybrid. Even traditional versus indie is kind of gone by the wayside because we're all a little hybrid. I think we're all moving toward the center because that's just how evolution works, and this process has evolved as well. I think that genres have kind of doing multiple genres is kind of it's passe to think that that's going to affect you one way or the other, right?
I think so, yeah. Also, as a female, and I'm sure Courtney can talk about this, as a female, we were once told way back, change your name, make it more masculine. My sister-in-law changed her name from her real name to Jaden Terrell because that's so unisexual. It could be anything. I refuse. I am who I am. If you don't like it. I have been in cons where I've been sitting there with my books and a person will come up and go, I don't read girl books. I'm like, I assure you, these aren't girl books. Whatever the hell that means. Piss off.
Yeah.
So no, but
it's the kind of reader you don't want to have anyway.
Oh, they're always boomers. They're always boomers. They're always old men. Yeah. And I don't read girl books. Well, so piss off. I don't read your crap anyway. But no, but as a female, you were told if you're going to do this. Also, as a female horror writer, I'm supposed to suddenly be the goth queen. Well, I don't want to be. If I don't want to, leather's hot. I don't want to walk around in leather all day at a con and wear makeup and be all goth. I hate wearing makeup. I hate putting on a facade. I hate it. And I hate that aspect of this particular. It's marketing. It's marketing's problem. It's not my problem. My problem is to write the story. That's marketing still.
What do you think about that, Courtney?
I mean, it's been like that for a long time. To a certain extent, it's still a prejudice that we have to kind of get past. People say that women can't write good fantasy, they can't write good sci-fi. If they do, that it has to have romance in it and things like that. And I hate that trope because, of course, I put a little bit of romance, but real life has romance in it. But it's not like claimed by the alien or anything like some of these tropes that are out there right now.
Oh my God, those things. Your stuff could pass the Bechdel test, basically.
Yeah. And it doesn't really matter if it's a man or woman, what you identify as. If you're writing good characters, what does it matter? What gender you are.
Good story.
If the story's good, read it.
It's a good story. Yeah.
Yep.
If the story's good, read it. That's what I
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite novel of all time is still Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley. And from what I understand, when the book first came out, her name was not on it, or some other version of her name was on it. And then a couple of years later, something like that, her father put it out and put her name on it for her. It's like the first time. So, and anybody who's going to limit themselves by saying, I don't read girl book, that's on them.
That's on them.
That's definitely on them. And that's horrible. Look at what you're missing out on. I mean, think Anne Rice, think Shirley Jackson, Sylvia, the Bronte sisters. I mean, think about it. The literature out there that women have written is absolutely astounding and fantastic. So, as I tell my patients, never limit yourself.
Never.
And even I'm not a huge fan, but even Jane Austen, stuff like that. That's classic literature there.
Yeah.
Anita says very few of her books have romance. Yes, they have a lot of violence, everybody. So get ready for that.
Poor
But
Jake. I finally gave Jake a girlfriend, and she eventually tried to kill him because that's just what happens. I don't. Poor Jake. He never give that poor guy a break.
Well,
No,
I will say, if you don't like girl books, you may not enjoy this next indie connection.
Okay.
But CL Cannon's clever enough to make you to find something for you within this genre that she's tackling this week, and so we'll have the indie connection and be right back and wrap things up, everybody. So enjoy going down the rabbit hole.
Hey guys, C.O. Kanan here from Fiction Atlas Press, bring you another Indie Connection, and this week we're not in Kansas anymore because we're going to be telling you about some indie books that you might enjoy if you're a fan of Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page, or of The Wizard of Oz. The first book I have for you is called Heartless as a Tin Man by Kendra Moreno. The Yellow Brick Road hungers. The world has completely lost its mind. Not only is Briella May trying to pick up the pieces of her life, but she suddenly finds herself falling into some sort of nightmare named Oz while hanging out at Bullfrog Creek. She only wanted a new start. She didn't realize she'd literally have to start anew. Gilkin City seemed to be the safest place to go in Oz, but Briella May soon learns why everyone fears the fluorescent metropolis. The Tin Man rules Gilkin with an iron axe, and he doesn't take kindly to newcomers, especially when they look him in the eyes without fear. But Briella May has seen the devil, and the Tin Man ain't him. With worlds merging, chaos reigning, and true villains breaking loose, Briella finds herself with no option but to team up with the heartless Tin Man. Will she survive the coming storm without adding her heart to his collection? If only the Tin Man had a heart of his own. The second book I have for you is called Borrowed Time by L.A. Baruff. Turning 40 isn't as exciting as most people think. There are no fireworks or surprise parties, and I definitely didn't get hitched overnight. Been there, got the divorce papers to prove it. Nope, none of that. Rather than 40 being the new 20 and all that, I inherited a new power from my mysterious birth mother. But now she's dead, and I, despite the fact that I have exactly 0 training, I'm the next time-traveling assassin. Don't get excited. The job sounds glamorous, but it comes with a huge learning curve and plenty of mishaps. Then there's having to actually assassinate people. That part sucks. It could be worse. I could still be working retail. The third book I have for you is called Dorothy and the Land of Monsters by Garton Geevden. Shifters, zombies, and vampires. Oh my. My name is Dorothy Gale, and I think I might be dead. When my dog Toto and I got swept up in a twister, we landed in hell. A very colorful hell. Like a rainbow dripping in blood. Now it looks as though this dreadful underworld plagued with vampires, zombies, and shifters will be the site of my eternal damnation. They say this terrifying land called Oz isn't hell or purgatory, and escape is possible. But first, I must survive the journey down the blood-soaked yellow brick road to the only place in Oz where vampires dare not tread, the City of Emeralds. With enchanted footwear and the help of my 3 new friends, a friendly zombie, a massive shifter lion, and a heartless axe murderer of evil night creatures, who also happens to be the hottest guy I've ever seen, Toto and I have a chance to make it to the vampire-free zone. When we get there, I must convince the most powerful wizard in this magical land of monsters to send us out of this radiant nightmare and back to the world of the living. They say he's just as frightening as this monstrous land, that he detests visitors, and even the most horrifying creatures cower in his presence. But I must seek him out, and when I find him, I'll do whatever it takes to make him send me home. And the last book I have for you is called The Ruby Fortress by Carrie Whitethorn. A magical war, deadly allegiances, 3 hot guys searching for a savior. Oz is not what it seemed. According to Ella, Great-Grandma Dorothy's stories are just that, stories. According to the strange guy in a suit waiting for her after work, Oz is a real place with real problems. What's more, Glinda the Good requests her presence, and no isn't an acceptable answer. Magically transported to the mystical land of Oz, Ella will learn there was far more to the tales she was told as a child. Her family legacy goes beyond the property in Kansas. Her great-grandmother's power has passed on to her, making Ella a key player in a war that's raged for years. Who can she trust? The Good Witch of the South? Her alluring steward? Or will new allies be found along the way? Going home isn't an option. Not when Ella learns the truth behind what happened in Oz all those years ago. It's a dangerous game, but with magical slippers, what could go wrong?
Okay, that's all for us this week. I'll see you next week on the Indie Connection. Bye.
You know what I super appreciate about this segment? Not only the gorgeous covers that we get to see every week, but then when Courtney's actually on our show and she's in a different angle in the car, she gives us so many great angles in her car.
Thank you. It's mostly me being hot and trying to cool off. It's like 1,000,000 degrees today.
You're keeping near the window.
Yes.
But no, thank you so much. It's just such a pleasure to be able to show that to people every week, and I really do appreciate it, how much work you put into that. And I hope you all go check out those books because they look fantastic. That first cover was phenomenal. I was blown away.
Kendra is really nice too. She's a great author.
Absolutely.
I love The Wizard of Oz. I just downloaded that Oz revamped book while that was playing. So
nice.
very excited. Wizard of Oz is my favorite movies between that and The Godfather. So
that's an odd spectrum.
That's me. Right? One extent to the other.
You're right. I see that.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see check out, what is it? Zombies, vampires, and monsters in Oz. That's badass. I'm interested. So good one.
Nice. So I mean that's obviously a great example of branding and connecting to an audience that's built in, obviously. Yeah. But I'm the last thing I wanted to kind of go over with everybody and kind of get out there a little bit is your experience with branding and what you've learned and what you feel like you've accomplished or achieved or felt like you've figured out that it may not be helpful because everybody's experiences are different and how you do something. There's no magical formula for it. There's no right answer to any of these questions because what works for me would probably not work for you and vice versa. And maybe it will, maybe a little bit of it, but maybe you take a little bit from this and a little bit of that and you can concoct something that works for you in that respect. But I'm curious, do any of you feel like you figured it out a little bit, or do you feel like you're still exploring that aspect and trying to figure out the formula for yourselves?
Oh, I'll jump in first. Yeah, nobody wants to talk.
Oh, I'm being cool. Yeah.
So I'm definitely still figuring it out. But one of the things that I think I've figured out, besides having a consistent look for the books and a consistent look for the covers, is letting my main characters kind of out of the books. One of the main characters, Kendra, she's actually out there on Instagram and she posts up on the website, so it's her speaking as her, and it's all first person stuff. So trying to bring a different perspective out there, her perspective on what the stories are. And I have her writing commentary on the things that I've written, saying, okay, that isn't entirely how it happened, but I understand why he did it this way. So that's one of the things that I'm trying out. Your mileage may vary.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I've seen those things before, like the character interviews and stuff like that. It's really clever to do stuff like that. I think it's always interesting to be in that headspace too, right? It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You want me to go next? There you go.
Go ahead.
Doesn't matter. All right, so I'm here. So I'm still trying to figure it out, but I have had some successes with definitely with my newsletter. So the newsletter is going good, and I've been getting some loyal followers through that. And then, like other than that, I do a lot of like giveaways, giving away prizes. I'm even going to be on a show this Thursday, and we're doing like a trivia game. So I'm just trying to be myself. And look, a couple of the prizes, nice little tumblers like that and stuff like that. All about the books, you know?
Yes.
Trying to get people out there and enjoy what's going on. And listen, I try to present myself as exactly who I am, right? So I'm a goofy, sarcastic, intelligent person that just loves to write books and loves to be part of the literature community. That is a definite fact. So proud to be here. Other than that, it'll keep coming. Keep working on it. That's what I say. I've got 20 books that I know that I'm going to be publishing over the next 5 or 6 years. So keep it going and keep building it up. Best thing you can do.
Are you a Story Origins guy? Do you use Story Origins for your newsletters?
I do use Story Origins. I also use BookFunnel. BookFunnel I like too. Yeah, those two sites definitely have helped out a lot.
As for me, no, I do not and have not figured anything out. I do worry that I am throwing far too many arrows in far too many genres, but that's just what I do. I'm always hoping that one of them will stick. Maybe one of them will hit a vein. I have no idea, but it's just what I am. I want to try and play with as many story ideas, as many lives as I can possibly create. I'm a creator is what I am. I just create stuff and we see what happens and see what happens to it. I'm trying to get my panties too much in a wad about it, really. Again, I always figure it's kind of a marketing problem. I focus on the story and try to make the best stories I possibly can and hope when you put it out there, it'll find whoever it needs to find if you want to get all magical thinking about it. Because the biggest compliments I've gotten so far as a writer are the people who contacted me to say that my story helped them over a bad time. It made them laugh, it made them cry, or it's really... like, for instance, one person told me that she's a school psychologist and she was helping a kid, and he happened to see my Sherlock Holmes story on her shelf. And he asked to read it. He read it, and it was the first book he said he's ever read all the way through. And he wanted to read more. So I kind of sparked a flame, and that's a good thing. Maybe I've done something good. And that's basically all I really want to do. So, again, as marketing or as making branding, I don't know yet. I'm just throwing stuff out.
I know probably by the sheer volume of followers and things like that nature, you wouldn't probably say your TikToking has been successful, but I would disagree. I think you figured something out with TikTok that it's like it was a platform made for you. Really,
it's fun, and I've got these ideas I want to do. I just have not done them yet. It's been a bad week going back to the day job. So but I do have ideas, and it's so much fun. I love TikTok. TikTok is so much fun.
Everybody out there, if you're not following her, do that because it's fantastic. You'll get a nice chuckle. Sometimes you'll even get some incredible insights, and there's a great TikTok. One of my favorite TikTok episodes that you've done is the one where you tell everybody about your prom date, and that was just one of my favorites. And
I told my husband about that when my husband was like, "I'm sorry, who? Who was this?" I can't help it if you weren't around. So,
as I've mentioned in previous episodes of this show and everything that we've done, I was fully expecting a part 2 where you say, "Now he's buried in my rose garden, and I have."
I can be sweet. I can be sweet. I don't kill everything.
See that's branding for you. That's my perception. So.
Oh, trust me. Oh, I had a boss once come up to me and ask, "Hey, how much would it cost to kill that person?" Which I'm like, you think I do this for real? I mean, what about me looks like I would kill people? So,
or know anybody who would kill people,
or know anyone. I'm only married to a former sniper, but
right.
How
about for you, Courtney?
I think I don't know if I've got it branding completely down. I try to go where the people are. I try to go where the readers are and not promote too much. I try to just make genuine connections with people, and that usually works well for me. I do think I do more branding inside my books with my characters. I kind of have these tropes that are usually have to deal with a really strong family connection or a really strong friend connection. Like those friends that are your soulmates, that their friendship is just so deep that it's unbreakable. And that's kind of a thread that goes through almost every single story I've written, I think, except for the one about the murderous vampire that I wrote. And she's got other stuff down the line. I'm sure I'll give her a best friend too. So I think that just being a best friend, I'm lucky to have a really, really good best friend that we've been best friends since freshman year, and she really helped me turn into the person that I wanted to be and kind of got me out of my shell, because I was really, I'm still pretty kind of mousy in real life, and she helped me kind of be more of an extrovert in some situations. And we have so much fun when we can get together. As time goes on, you have a family, you don't get to go out as many times as you used to and stuff, but we still will talk for hours and hours. And I love incorporating that friendship in there, because we always say, like, she's my Samwise and I'm her Frodo, or like vice versa. And like that's like somebody that you would carry up Mount Doom. That's how she is to me. And I love putting that connection in there and showing that connection especially between same-sex characters, and letting that be normal, because a lot of people will force romance onto it or something like that. And I love bringing that connection back. Sam and Frodo weren't gay, but they loved each other, and that's like getting that toxic masculinity out and things like that also is really important thing that I do in my stories. And I love talking about friendship.
Nice, that's awesome.
And found families and stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of relatable too, and you and I share kismet that few people would understand, and that is that a lot of what perception of us is that we help a lot of people do a lot of things, and we connect people and things like that. I mean, but I'm wondering from your perspective, how much of that has helped your branding in doing what you do for other people. You do so much outside of yourself, and you really do a lot of, you do these, you do the boosters, you do the, you're also a PA, you do a lot of work for clients and things like that. And of course you do it for a living, and it's something that you do, for, money. But there is a certain aspect of it that you do a lot of for a lot of people. And anybody who doesn't know Courtney, she's the most approachable person I've ever met. She's very, I mean, don't spam her or anything like that, but I'm just saying, she will answer your question if you have a question. And so it's really, she's really amazing about that. And so, I mean, she's done that countless times for me, and I can't thank her enough for that. But I'm just curious how much that's helped you as a writer. Do you feel like that's something that you're very grateful that that's part of your branding?
Absolutely. It is definitely something that has helped me, because I've made so many connections with other people in all kinds of different industries all throughout the industry in different ways, like writers and editors and cover designers and, other authors and podcast people and video people. And I've everybody in the industry, publicists, I know everybody, not everybody, but I know a lot of freaking people. And I've talked with and worked with a lot of people. I've been in this business for about 5 to 6 years now, and I've met a lot of people along the way, helped a lot of people, and sometimes for profit, and sometimes just like they asked me a question, or they helped people if they didn't have money for a cover. When I was first starting out, I was like, I'll just make you one if you'll just tell somebody that I made it, and maybe that'll give me business down the way. I think just doing that in life, just in general, helping people when you can, always benefits benefits you somewhere down the road, even if it's just like your peace of mind, knowing that you were able to help someone out of a situation, and that maybe if you were ever in that situation, they would think of you or help you, or that you just changed their life in some way. And I definitely do think that it has helped me with pretty much everything that I've ever done as an author or as a service provider, because I don't actually advertise Fiction Atlas. I just rely on word of mouth. I have never advertised it other than, like paid advertising, other than just posting in groups and, telling people when new things are out. I've got people that recommend me because I try to be truthful and honest with them, I guess.
That's awesome. And she does a lot, everybody. So you go out there and, do me a solid, everybody. Do me a favor when you do, even if you're paying for the service that Courtney's providing, go give her a thank you. That goes a long way. So thank her for a lot of what she does, because she does a ton for people. And I'm very grateful to know her and be connected to her in that respect, and so I thank her for that. But I think that goes a long way. So I'm just throwing that out there to everybody. So because she does a lot. And with that being said, Courtney, tell everybody where they can find where you do all these wonderful things and what you got going on. Do you have any boosters or anything you want to promote right now?
I've got a lot. I just started a Witcher builder for newsletters, and I've got a book fair that's coming up for August. The sign-ups are up for that, and I'm going to post a bunch of stuff today, probably more fantasy and sci-fi related stuff. We've got a book fair going right now that's actually running hundreds of over 150 books that are either free or in KU or $2.99 and below. But you can find me at cocanon.net, and I am COCanon author on basically everything except for Instagram. On Instagram, I'm CL_canon, and basically just go to my LinkedIn. What is it called? I changed from Linktree to the link in bio because I liked it better. So I've got everything in there. My current giveaways, where you can find my Fiction Atlas builders, all of that stuff. But you can go to Fiction Atlas, fiction-atlas.com for my publishing site, and also has my author services stuff on there. And just if you have a question or if you just want to talk, just email me at info@fiction-atlas.com, or hit me up on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on all those a lot. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, as always. And thank you for the Indie Connection. That was wonderful. So I appreciate that. All right, Adam, why don't you tell everybody where they can find your awesome collection that you've got going on right now?
Thanks. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Adam Gaffin. There's only one of me, so don't accept no substitutes. You can also find me at CassidyChronicles.com. I've got lots of content up there, chapters, author interviews. Nikki, you've been on there. PD, you're going to be on there. And this month through the end of June, because a lot of my characters are LGBTQ, through the end of June, if you go to Smashwords, you can get the first volume of the Cassidy Chronicles for free. You can also get the second volume for free if you go to Story Origin. You can find it there. And the fourth book, the audio book for the fourth volume, is finished with just a couple tweaks to go. So hopefully that'll be out maybe by the end of July if Audible is quick about things. It's going to be a busy summer.
Nice. And note at the bottom there, his name is spelled with an A. I have made the mistake of doing it with an E, and there is a lot of Adam Gaffins with E's out there. So, yes. But he is the only one with the A, so that's very unique. So if you've gone down a rabbit hole and you found that there's like 7,000 Gaffins, you probably typed in the E and not the A. So right, or just look for Cassidy Chronicles. So, yeah, there you go. That's a good way to do it as well. All right, PD.
Yes. All right. So you can find me pdoliva.com over there. Right there. And so best way to get in touch with me, sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up there. And let's see. First, I would like to say that to Courtney, yes, a big thank you to you. I've been working with Courtney for about a year. I've participated. She's helped me build a newsletter. I've participated in a lot of her giveaways. She's absolutely fantastic. And she helped me launch my book last year, The Rose, Volume 1, the Alien Vampire one. And I will say that we hit the bestseller list for new releases when the book came out. So thank you very much, Courtney.
Awesome.
Definitely
welcome.
grateful to you, and I love you 100%. And all right, so I definitely have more than a few books coming out. So October will be Gollum. All right, that's a psychological horror novel. It takes place in the late 1940s, early 1950s, and it's a lot of fun. It's psychological, and it's very. I probably have to issue a graphic content warning on that one. So, but my beta readers are loving it, and I've already had a few nightmares from the beta readers, so they're enjoying it. And to me, it's a horror novel, a horror author. If you get into somebody's dreams, you did your job right. And November, I have Girl on a Mission coming out. That's subtitles The Dead Do Speak, Murder, Mayhem, and Grunge. And that is a supernatural thriller. And then in December, Volume 2 for The Rose. And that is about alien vampires attempting to subjugate the human population after World War III. And I'll be doing definitely sending out art copies. I'll give away a bunch of free copies, and that'll start in August on all 3 of those novels. And you'll find that out in my newsletter. But of course, I'm across social media as well. Just type in PD Oliva, and you'll find me.
Awesome. Yeah, go check that out, and definitely get on board with everything he's doing. That sounds really awesome. Like, I love the range that you're covering. So I think you got a little bit of everything for everybody there. So that's pretty cool. So everybody go check that out.
Yep.
All right, Nikki, tell everybody where they can see you.
I'm Nikki Nelson Hicks. There's my website. You can find me on Amazon, all those places. As for social media, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just look up either Nick Cubed, NIKCUBED, or just my name. I'm also doing some TikToks as well. As for what I'm working on, I'm obviously at the slacker of the group because right now I'm down a really deep research hole. I'm creating a new world. So I'm doing a lot of research so that I can get this world just right before I really start writing in it. I'm hoping to get, anyway, again, I'm in a research hole right now. So other than that, you can find me wherever. Just Google me up. I'm everywhere.
As long as you're on a show with me, you will never be the slacker of the group, because I have published 2 books in 10 years, and I'm now, instead of publishing the 3rd book like I should be, which is coming out next year, I am going back and reworking the 1st book. So you'll never be the slacker as long as you're ongoing. I will always be there. So.
I feel like a slacker. Everyone's doing all the things, and I'm like, I'm still reading all these books over here.
Now, I will say I am working on some movies and stuff like that too. But that's
nice.
but still, there's no doubt that I'm the slacker amongst everything that you could possibly think of: reading, writing, arithmetic. I'm a slacker there as well. But that being said, you're at Go Indie now. If you don't know where you are, you found us. Congratulations! I'm really happy that you have. And while you're here, you can smash the like button. You can subscribe. You can do all the things that we love for you to do. Do them at your leisure. If you don't want to do them, that's fine. I'm not gonna press you for that. But it'd be nice. It'd be cool. But we would love to have you come back again and enjoy it and do all the things that we do and talk to all the people that we talk to and the chat, as you can see, was very lively, and we always appreciate them being around and hanging out with us and doing all those wonderful things. But that being said, I do want to mention that we have been doing this thing for the last couple of weeks where we do a double feature. And our double feature, if you missed it earlier on, go back to the beginning because you'll see a nice little clip from it. But our double feature this week, I pressed the wrong button there. Which is great for live. But here is our double feature. Origins is our show where we delve deep. The way I describe Origins is it's This Is Your Life meets inside the actor's studio, and we talk to the artist. We figure out how the artist became the artist, and then we talk about the art that they've created, and we go deep into that dive. So it's kind of like a 2-part series there. But at 2:00 Eastern, top of the hour, 11 a.m. Pacific, if you're like me and you're up early and you're watching this, or you're watching this at another time now, hey, look, this will be up when you watch this. So go and check it out. It's over at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/goindienow. and it will be right there to see. You won't miss it if you're on our channel. And like I said, Merlin is an incredible talented woman who is doing amazing things now, and she's going to be an international pop star. There's just no doubt about it. I have no doubt about it. And we were lucky to have this conversation, and it's a really great conversation. We do a lot of talking about the process in which she goes through in creating her art and all the things that are involved in that, and what it means to be a pop star and all that wonderful stuff. So come and hang out with me. I'll be in the chat for the entirety of the episode. If you want to come hang out, that's great. Come say hello, or just come say hello and leave and then come back and watch the show. Whatever you want. I'm here. So I'm always around because it's always time to go indie now. And with that being said, we will say goodbye. Good luck. Happy Father's Day.
Bye. Happy Father's Day.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.